your eyes and let your spirit start. Say yes to the dreams you hold inside. Let your soul be your guide.
Are you looking for an AMC that is dedicated to your success? Well, look no further than Appraisal Nation. They provide seamless residential and commercial valuations in every county across America with the fastest turn times and lowest revision rates. From single family homes to commercial properties, they have you covered. Trust Appraisal Nation as your reliable partner for all valuation needs. Visit appraisalnation.com and remember, Appraisal Nation is dedicated to your success because we are stronger together. Thank you for joining us today for another episode of Wednesday Wisdom. We are all in for a special treat today because we are joined by the amazing Monique Jose. She is the owner of Kingdom Life Agency, and what an amazing person that she has dedicated herself to be a life retirement specialist. Monique, thank you so much for joining us today. And we are on the edge of our seat just waiting to hear your insights. And what we like to do on Wednesday Wisdom is we like to kind of go in the past, bring it to the present, and then give our advice in the future. So let's kick us off with, please share with us, what is one of the best pieces of advice that you have ever received? And if it was given by an individual, please feel free to give them a shout out.
Absolutely. First and foremost, thank you, Laura, for bringing me on. I'm super excited to be able to come on. And really, as a young child, even in high school, that's really where the best advice came from. And that was that I have the keys to my destiny. And once I realized that, I knew that I can go and achieve anything that I put my mind to. And that was from a mentor, Joe Aragon.
All right, so let's unpack that. And how powerful, right? How powerful. And, you know, I've been having a lot of conversations lately, and I don't even know why. Maybe it's the podcast of why this has been coming up. But I've been hearing a lot about how a lot of times we need to feel that we're seen, to feel that we're heard. And when we get someone else to kind of tell us that everything you need is kind of, it's inside of you, right? It's right there. Sometimes we don't even feel that way ourselves. Like, it's necessary, number one, for us to say that to other people, and also to listen when we hear it. So Monique, a couple of things before we go into how you applied that fantastic advice. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the power of, number one, giving that to someone, the gift of sharing that message, and also how do we get ourselves that when we're feeling that maybe we don't have those keys, you know, that we don't have that ability, how do we get ourselves out of that? Love to hear your thoughts.
Absolutely. As somebody who has received the gift of those words, right, from my mentor, I'll start there. Really, for me, somebody who took the time to invest, which obviously was my mentor, Joe, he didn't just say, hey, you have the keys to your destiny. He said, here's the reason why you have the keys to the destiny. You're a leader, number one. Number two, you're very influential when it comes to a strong woman. And number three, he believed in me, really. And that's really the magic that took place for me, was he actually believed that I could become that leader, even though I didn't believe it in myself at the time. I was 14 years old. I was, you know, the youngest of 8 children who didn't really have that example forward. But because I had that one individual believe in me, I then internalized that and believed it in myself.
And and I know you're excellent at this, so I'm specifically asking you, how have you now taken, and I'm going to ask this in 2 parts, okay? How have you taken that and given that back to others? And like I said, I know you're very good about that. So that's first part. And then the second part is, then how did you take that and apply that to your own life? So how are you giving it to others, and how have you applied it to your own life?
Absolutely. after I received that from my teacher, I then and was a teacher myself for 14 years. Teacher, mentor in our community, same to little girls like myself, the really in essence, little boys as well, who didn't have that family environment to really believe them. And so the investment for me that was my give back program. I received it. I say it was the gift of life. And then I then gave that gift of life to all the other children in the community who didn't believe in themselves like myself.
Okay. All right. So that technically answers both, because it's how you applied it and then how have you utilized it for others. And that's amazing. And of course, listen, we could probably stay on this podcast for hours going through Monique's story. I mean, it's quite fascinating, and I'm sure one day she's going to put that into a book form or a movie form or something, because it is an incredible journey in terms of where you started, that person, Joe stepping in and breathing life into you almost, right? It was almost breathing life. And then you taking that, applying it, giving back, right, in one form as a teacher, and then you turned around and moved over onto the wealth management and retirement and insurance and all of that, with helping and protecting families in another way. So you're still kind of taking it and applying it, just maybe in a little bit of a different way. So thank you for, thank Joe. We're going to start with Joe. So thank Joe for starting the ripple, because it does start, and now it's up to us. I kind of look at that as almost passing the baton, right? So we've been passed the baton, and now it's our job to keep passing it forward, because someone did it for us. Now we can do it for others, and that ripple can continue on to the future. So thank you for that. Okay, Monique, I'd love to wrap it up with, now I want to hear from you. Now I'd like to know, okay, you've had so many different things happen in your lifetime. You've seen so many powerful experiences, and I know you are very faith-driven, and I know you are on a mission to just make this world, a light of the world every single day. I'd love to hear, what is your piece of advice for all of our listeners out there? Please share your wisdom.
Absolutely. Really, for me, I guess if I had to sum it up in one word, is be limitless. Don't put limits on yourself. And I'm so glad that you tied in that faith piece, because for me personally, there would be no Monique without the God component, right?
Right.
Because God gives us that strength. He gives us the outlook. He gives us the determination. I think at me as a whole, there is no Monique without God. And the fact that I held on to that and then have become the pillar, not only in my community, but a pillar for my own children, a pillar for our youth group, a pillar for being able to step out as a female woman, as a Hispanic woman in our community that is driven, is become limitless. Don't put boundaries. Don't let others put boundaries because you grew up in a certain demographic, or because you came from a large family, or because you had pretty much the X on your back, right? No, become limitless, because when you become limitless and you let go, I know the cliche is you let go and you let God. When you let God,
you surrender, right? You surrender,
and the boundaries are truly limitless. And I'm just that vessel to be able to be used. Thankfully, my last thing is, I have become the hands and feet of God in every aspect in my life, not only social, but also economically, financially, and even for my kids and for my family.
I love that. And I know, thankfully we got to meet each other in person, which was lovely, because listen, we all love Zoom, but there is nothing like actually getting to be face to face with someone. And,
yes.
Your passion just for humanity, like I will just call it for all humans, right? Your passion for all humans What I felt and kind of what I witness every time that I have a conversation with you and see you is you want the best, whatever that best is for that person, right? So again, going back to that no limits, right? You want that, whatever that being is, to go to their highest possible potential, because and I certainly have the same thought process that we are not in a scarcity world. We are in a unlimited potential world, and no one loses when someone wins, right? We're all here on our own path, right? But we are here to live to our fullest capacity, whatever that looks like for each individual, right?
Yes.
So I have to challenge you, Monique. I'm on board with every single thing you said. But listen, there's people out there right now, we all know. There's people out there right now that are going through challenges. They could be going through health challenges. They could be going through financial challenges. They could be going through mental illness challenges. Who knows? Who knows? Well, there's too many to list. What is your advice of, okay, I can believe that I'm limitless, but right now I'm kind of feeling in a box. I'm kind of feeling that right now I've got so many things stacked against me. What's your recommendation? What would you give them advice on?
Absolutely. I love that we have 4 seasons. Every year we have 4 seasons. And the season that you are in is not the season that you are going to remain in. You just have to believe, whether that is faith, whether that is internalizing, you have to believe that the season that you're in is temporary. And if you are in that drought season, guess what comes after the drought is the rain. If you are in the broken season, guess what comes after that season is healing. If you are in that financial ruin, when you dig yourself out of that hole, then comes prosperity. And so look and go deep into the soul, into the creation that God has created you, and dig deep, because if I can do it, you can do it.
I love that. Monique, thank you so much for sharing your insight, sharing your wisdom, and sharing your light with everyone here today. We wish you all the best always, and keep shining brightly, my friend.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.